Welcome to Casa Vera Oracle. My name's Lisa. I specialize in inner child healing. Today I'm going to do a timeless card reading for anybody who desires to receive and who's wanting to shift the timeline. We have so much energy coming towards us on the 12th. We have a solar eclipse, a new moon, and anytime we have this kind of energy, it's an opportunity for us to shift a reaction, to shift a pattern, to love ourselves deeper. And that's how you change your timeline. You change how it is that you treat yourself. You say, you know what, a long time ago, this worked for me. This doesn't work anymore. It's not taking me where I want to go. But whenever we're talking about your inner child, we're really fine-tuning how you speak to the parts of yourself that would love to remember that they're innocent. Whenever we do inner child healing, we're not trying to be childish. What we're doing is we're looking at a part of ourselves that still exists now, that's still trying to communicate with us now, that maybe at one point in childhood, their needs were not met. They weren't safe. Maybe they didn't feel like they could be everything that they wanted to be. Maybe they weren't connected to their dreams. Maybe they weren't allowed to express, to play. And what we're doing is, instead of staying in that story and making decisions now in our adult life that continue to feed that old story, we're coming in and we're being like the big kid on the block, where we're being the parent, where we're allowing them to have something different now. So it's not about going back to the past and living in the past. What we're doing is we're being really, really present with ourselves right now, because this moment is the only moment that exists. We're not saying that we're erasing the painful moments that we've experienced in our life. We can't erase anything, but what we can do is claim what's ours right now. And what's yours right now is whatever you want to give yourself. Whatever you want to give yourself is yours right now. So we're going to pull a couple of cards and we're going to see, where is it that our inner child would like to go? And how will this energy, the celestial energy, support us in that in this next season? Let's start with a dragon card. I think that sounds really fun and playful. You know, it separates, I think, a child's energy from a wounded adult. It's belief. I believe in fairies. I believe in dragons. If they don't have reason not to believe in it, then they believe in it. First card up. Your talents will lead you to great success. The time has come to allow your potential to awaken. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Whenever we think about the inner child and they're telling us, let's step into a position of belief, what that's saying to me is that we're coming from somewhere where there's a part of us that doesn't feel like we can be who we want to be. That whoever it is that we thought, hey, I could have this or I could do this, it's almost like we don't even remember that part of ourself. Maybe that part of ourself was never nurtured. Maybe that part of ourself was never loved. Maybe we didn't have a parent say to us, you know what, whatever you want to do, you go after it. I support you. So whenever we're shifting into a new timeline, it's crucial that now we begin to say that to ourselves. So the part of us that used to say, no, you can't do that. No, that's not for you. That's for them. No, you came from this place or you experienced this. So you're kind of stuck in what you're doing. You just need to keep doing the same thing. We have to make the conscious decision to not say that anymore and to shift our words. Words are spells. What your inner child wants to hear from you, which is what they've always wanted to hear from their environment, from their teachers, from their parents, from their grandparents. What they always wanted to hear was, you can do anything you want, kid. You go get it. And I'm right here to support you. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Start small if you want, because a small step is a step. We don't judge a win. A win is a win. And they're saying that right now, if you will bring in belief, if you will bring in magic, you can start the momentum to have anything that you want. Belief is love. There's a scripture that says to hope all things and to believe all things. So that's a definition of love. When you hope for yourself, when you believe for yourself, you're loving yourself, you're recognizing your own potential. Hey, I just did a reel about that actually a couple days ago on my Instagram. Check out my IG. I'll have it listed below in the description box. Let's get a little butterfly card. That feels really playful too. I just got this deck. There's a sweet little metaphysics shop here in northern Colorado that I like to go to. And usually my decks are a little like deeper and sometimes almost kind of heavy feeling. I'm pretty deep. I'm ruled by Scorpio. So, but I was feeling more playful and like I wanted that lighter, softer energy for my readings. So I like this deck because it has all these beautiful butterflies on the top. And this one's really lovely. It's landing. It says, everything is unfolding perfectly according to a trustworthy higher plan. I'm sorry, this is backwards. I know it is. Everything is unfolding perfectly, but according to a trustworthy higher plan. Your inner child has always wanted to be able to trust someone. That someone is you. And the higher plan is always going to be whatever it is that you move towards intentionally, but without urgency. It's worthy. So whatever it is that you want to move towards, it needs to be worthy of you, and you need to understand that you're worthy of it. Okay? It needs to be where you don't have to work so hard to show people who you are, meaning you can just be who you are. The time of struggling so much to be accepted and trying to push ourselves into places where we just don't belong, where we're really not received, that doesn't feel good to your inner child. That's essentially like putting them on a playground where the other kids are making fun of them and don't allow them to kind of like come into their circle, and to keep telling that child, I know it hurts, but just keep going up to them and just keep going up to them and just keep going up to them. And you just keep feeling that every day. It is true that only you can reject yourself. And there's a lot of opportunities in our life where doors are going to close, or people are going to walk away from us, or we're going to walk away from them. And that really is to learn that the only one who can reject us is ourselves. But once we get anchored into that, it's really important to trust ourselves enough and to show your inner child like, hey, I'm not going to keep putting you in positions that hurt you. And also when we're talking about a higher plan, it's a plan that comes from grace. It's a plan that comes from spirit. It's the plan that comes from source. Every single day, ask source to guide you and to give you the connections, the opportunities, the abundance that is in your divine supply and that's set apart for you, and that it comes from grace. When we talk about it coming from grace, that's the highest place that it can come from. You're going to receive things in your life along the way that are good and that are exactly what you need at that moment. But then sometimes as you evolve and you elevate, it's not what you need anymore. And you need something that's more aligned, something that's even higher, because you keep climbing that ladder. You keep climbing that ladder every time you love yourself a little more, every time you're more gentle with yourself, every time you listen to yourself. That's what our inner child needs from us. They need us to be good listeners. They need us to validate their experiences, but then to say, and that doesn't define you. You have opportunity to keep going. And I like unfolding because it reminds me of like a storybook, like, bringing the pages back. And that's what your life is like. And you can't eliminate the past chapters, but you can learn from them and you can be grateful for them and you can celebrate the parts of your stories. And that's really important to do with your inner child, is to celebrate them. Be like, wow, kid, look where we're going. Hey, tell us what you need next. And they're going to say, I would love friends. Or they would say, you know what? This experience would feel really good to me. I want to know that I can have it. And you let them know, okay, all right, let's me and you start heading towards that direction. That feels so good to your insides. And what we're wanting to do is build our inner wealth. And we build our inner wealth with deep, deep love. Communication. Your inner child is really wanting you to, they're wanting you to listen to what they're telling you and to stop telling them to be quiet. We do that to our inner child. They're like, hey, I need this. Shh, no, you don't. And they might be saying, I need a snack. And you're like, absolutely not. That's not in our plan. Or they might be saying, I need you to go a little easier with me. And you might be like, absolutely not. We're hustling. We're getting stuff done. And they're like, I need a break. And you're like, no. Or they might be saying to you, I need you to let me go after what I want to go after. I need you to let me be loved by who I want to be loved by and stop running away just because you're scared, because when we were little, we got hurt. Oh, that resonates, doesn't it? Your inner child is always communicating with you every day. I have an exercise that I'd like for you to do for this new moon. I would love for you to find a picture of yourself as a child, and I would like for you to put it somewhere where you can see them. And every morning when you get up for the next week, I want you to look at them and say, I honor you. You can trust me. When you speak, I will listen. And I want you to think about that little kid that you're looking in their eyes and how much that would have meant to them when they were a child to receive that. If that needs to bring up some hurt or pain for you, please explore that. But then step into your power. And that power is, I can do that. I can be that person. You don't have to long for it anymore. You don't even have to chase it. It no longer needs to be something that you don't have, because I'm here. Let's get a little sign, a sign card. A sign card usually is going to be something that's coming in, or whenever you see this, it's like a part of yourself or spirit trying to communicate with you. We have the juggler. Okay. So what this card is saying to me is that you've been trying to juggle a lot of things. The thing that you've been trying to juggle the most, though, is your feeling of inequality and almost like you're not enough, and you keep trying to step into new things, whether that's love, opportunity, exercise programs, hobbies, and you start doing it and it feels good at first, and then all of a sudden it just feels like something else that's heavy. And it's like you're almost like throwing all of the balls up in the air, but you're not allowing any of them to land, or like you know that you fully have it. And that's because you're building capacity. Maybe you've never held that much love for yourself. Maybe you've never listened that deeply to yourself, and maybe what the little one inside of you is trying to express could almost be hard to hear. And you're relieved that you are saying it to you because it's needed to be said for a long time, but you're like, now how do I handle this? Because that could create a big shift in my life. But the shift is what we want. The shift moves the pieces so that the new can come in, so that more can come in. And while you're juggling, you need to have grace for yourself. Sometimes you're gonna drop a ball. Whenever you're a beginner, it's not gonna be perfect. It's not even gonna be perfect when you're a master. You're here to learn. And this card is about allowing yourself to learn, and allowing yourself to have grace while you're juggling a lot of things and while you're juggling a lot of emotions, to come to center. That means to your heart. Whenever you're juggling a lot of emotions, it's because you're cultivating growth. And growth is capacity. So you're going through something really challenging to see if you can be centered, if you can create a new reaction from what you normally would do that expands you, so that when your next cycle of abundance, of goodness, of play begins to drop in, you can receive it and you can hold it, because you are worth everything. And you need to have space for the everything that wants to come to you. Last card and we'll be done. If this reading resonates with you, I'd love it if you would like and subscribe to my channel. I absolutely love reading Oracle. I've been doing it for about 6 years. I do one-on-one readings. I do them in little shops, and I've just started my YouTube channel because I'd really like to connect with more people and offer my gift and my connection and my voice and my medicine to others. Untangling neglect, and that's what we're doing as an inner child. You were neglected at one point in some way, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and you're unwinding it now. The unwinding can feel taxing because it's like this big spool of yarn and there's some knots in it, and those knots are what creates that restriction within you. But we get to go in and we get to kind of start pulling at the threads a little bit. The pulling at the thread could feel a little painful, but then as it creates this space and you're able to release, it's so satisfying. It's so fulfilling. And you're able to take that breath that you've always needed to take. It says, I take the time to give myself all the approval I desire. You don't need to chase validation or approval from anybody else anymore. They're saying you believe in yourself first. That's where the approval comes from. The approval that you've been seeking, you give it to you. The whole world could give it to you. You could get all the likes in the world, all the followers in the world. You could get that promotion, and if you don't love you, you're not going to feel it deep in your bones. It comes from spirit. Spirit loves you. Spirit dwells within you as you. Everything is unfolding. That's the detangling. That's the unwinding. You are unwinding. The unfolding is you opening to you, to your needs, to your desires. And while you do that, we need to be deeply, deeply listening. It's going to feel a little bit like a juggling act, especially with all of this energy coming up. But the thing about you is you've got it. You're smart. You're wise, you're beautiful. Everything that you need, all of the keys that you need to unlock any part of yourself, whether that's your voice, your talent, your beautiful medicine, it's all within you. You already have it. You need to give yourself the grace to get there when you get there, but start getting there intentionally. Start doing the winding. You're the only one who can take the first step. Again, I take the time to give myself all the approval I desire. Take the time every day to approve of yourself, of everything. Look in the mirror and approve of what you see. Look around your room and approve of your choices. Look at your story and say, wow, I did the best with what I knew. And now that I know better, I do better.